Hi everyone, Pradeep here from TGT and welcome to another iOS update video. Apple has finally released the iOS 14.5 for the public. Though I have made separate videos for almost all the beta stages, but here is a complete video on everything you should know about iOS 14.5. This version came in around 1.04 GB on this iPhone SE second generation, around the same size in this iPhone 6s and around 1.23 GB in this iPad Air 4. To update your device, go to Settings, then General, then Software Update, and you should see your update here. If you do not see that, try repeating these steps a few times and you should see it there. For iOS 14.5, the latest build number is 18E199. There is modem firmware update in this version, so expect improved cellular network and connectivity. Along with iOS 14.5, Apple also released iPadOS 14.5, watchOS 7.4, tvOS 14.5, HomePodOS 14.5 and macOS Big Sur 11.3 to the general public as well. Now let's talk about the new features. There are lots in iOS 14.5. Now you can use Face ID on your Apple Watch to unlock your iPhone even when wearing a mask. Apple Watch owners can now use a feature that lets you use Face ID to unlock your iPhone even if your face is obstructed by a mask. To enable that, go to Settings, then Face ID and Passcode. Then turn on the unlock with passcode toggle. Also, your Apple Watch must be on your wrist and unlock. I have a separate YouTube Shorts video on that. Do check it later. You can now set a default music player of your choice. Apart from using Apple Music, you can ask Siri to play something and it will list all the music streaming services you have installed on your device, such as Spotify. You can choose which one you want to set as your default. iOS 14.5 includes 217 new emojis, including new skin tone variations for popular emojis such as couples. You will also find new emoji like heart on fire, AirPods Max like headphone, faces in clouds, etc. In fact, it now complies with Unicode 13.1 standard. Siri is no longer default to a female voice. Instead, you can now choose among many different voices you prefer for the digital assistants. For India though, there are 2 different options are available. Other regions have 4. iOS 14.5 adds supports for the newly announced AirTags. If you go to the Apple Find My app, in the Items tab, there is a Add Item option. If you tap on that, you can see it says Add AirTags. You can also add other supported third-party tracking devices as well. iOS 14.5 enables app tracking transparency. If you go to the settings, then privacy, then tracking, you can see the toggle there. This includes privacy changes that will require apps to ask for user permissions before tracking data and activity. But some users are reporting that they still have this option grayed out for some unknown reason. iOS 14.5 supports dual SIM 5G globally. iPhone 12 users will have dual SIM support globally, which means you can take advantage of the phone's physical SIM slot and digital eSIM to have 2 lines of service on the same phone. In India, dual SIM 4G was already available as we do not have 5G networks here yet. iOS 14.5 and watchOS 7.4 will let Apple Fitness Plus users stream workouts directly to AirPlay 2 compatible devices. Fitness Plus is not available in India yet. With iOS 14.5 and HomePodOS 14.5 update, you can now see music transfer to HomePod, and HomePod Mini is working much more flawlessly. There are changes in Apple Maps as well. iOS 14.5 includes crowdsourcing features for reporting accidents, hazards, and speed checks along a route in Maps when getting directions. Also, you can now send estimated time of arrival to someone through the Message app while walking or cycling. Not available in all the regions yet. With iOS and iPadOS 14.5, you can now use the latest PS5 DualSense and Xbox Series X controllers with the iPhone and the iPad. The new controllers also connect to the Apple TV with the tvOS 14.5 update. For the iPhone 11, 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, iOS 14.5 introduces recalibration of the battery health reporting feature. The update recalibrates the maximum battery capacity and peak performance capacity on the iPhone 11 models to address inaccurate estimated battery health. In the Reminders app, there is now an option to shortlist the reminders by due date, creation date, priority, or title. Also, there is an option to print a reminder list as well. There is a new search tab in the Apple News app, and the News Plus section has been redesigned with a For You feature. Apple News Plus is not available in India yet. In the podcast app, there is a new smart button that replaces the prior play button, along with an updated interface that makes it easier to find, follow, and listen to new episodes. When using Apple Translate app, you can now adjust playback speed on the punctuations by long pressing on the play button. There is a new shortcut action for taking a screenshot that can be incorporated into various shortcuts as well. In the control center, there is a new Apple TV remote icon which resembles the new Apple TV 4K Siri remote. In iOS 14.5, we now have a new purple wallpaper in the wallpaper category. That is of course for the newly announced iPhone 12 or 12 mini purple, so you will get this once you update to iOS 14.5. In the App Store, if you go to the details of any apps, now you can see these sections has been made prominent with some saddle effects. Previously it was all black. In the settings and then notifications, you can now see a toggle to always deliver emergency alerts to ring even if your iPhone is in silent mode, not available in all regions yet. While attaching a MagSafe wallet in the back of the iPhone 12, the haptic feedback is now much stronger. Apart from the new features, iOS 14.5 have some resolved issues as well. As I have already mentioned those during my beta update videos, first is the green tint for some iPhone 12 owners, where in low brightness some green rings appear at the edge of the screen. Though I have never faced that issue, but if you are having this, it should now be fixed. Bluetooth switching, cellular 4G signal drop issues are not there anymore, at least in my device, though I cannot check about the 5G to 4G network drop issue here, as we do not have 5G networks here in India yet. With iOS 14.5, Apple also resolved flashing Apple logo during boot up for some devices, and of course battery life improvement as well. I am also running the iOS 14.5 in this iPhone 6s as well. This is the oldest device that still supports iOS 14.5. It is really surprising to see how smooth this is even after all these years. Battery life is also okay. Widgets, Apple Library, control panel, everything is running as it should be. With this, Apple also released iPadOS 14.5. I am running it on the iPad Air 4th generation. Almost all the iOS features are available in the iPadOS as well, but there are some iPadOS specific features also. First, during the boot up screen, the Apple logo now shows in horizontal orientation as well if you hold it that way. iPadOS now supports emoji search directly in the keyboard. At the beginning, this feature was only available to iOS 14. While using the Scribble feature, Apple Pencil users now have some new additional language support. Now, if you are using Apple Smart Folio case such as this one, iPad Air 4, iPad 8th generation, 2nd generation 11-inch iPad Pro and 4th generation 12.9-inch iPad Pro now have a privacy feature that turns off the microphone if the Smart Folio is shut off. This version is running really smoothly in this iPad Air 4. Battery life is also better from iPadOS 14.4.2. Now, if you are interested about the benchmark score, here it is for iPhone 12 mini. It is 1583 for the single core and 3946 for the multi-core, which seems to be really good. And here it is for the iPhone SE 2nd generation, 1329 single core and 2619 multi-core. Multi-core score is a bit low than average, I should say. And here are the scores for all the devices that I mentioned here: iPad Air 4th gen, iPhone 6s, iPhone SE 2nd generation, and iPhone 12 mini. Now the final question, should you update to iOS 14.5? Well, the answer is of course go on and update it. Here is a list of all the supported iOS devices for this version. If you are using any of these, simply update to iOS 14.5 for some great new features, security and privacy. iOS 14.5 is a polished and stable operating system. One more thing, you might see tons of app updates in the next few days, as app developers releases an update after a major OS release. Although Apple has already moved on to iOS 14.6 beta 1, I have made a video on that too. Make sure you watch that as well. Do share your views about iOS 14.5 in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to TGT, and I will see you in my next one. Peace.